If you feel like you're always running out of money or you just can't figure out why you're stuck living paycheck to paycheck, don't look at your budget, look at your driveway. Because for most people, the biggest thing keeping them broke isn't inflation, it's actually their car. Today we're talking about something people hate admitting. New cars are one of the biggest money traps out there. And I'm not saying this as someone who thinks everyone should drive a $2,000 beater with mismatched doors. I used to sell cars and my dad ran a car dealership for over a decade. I grew up in this world and I know how the numbers and the psychology works. And even with all of that, neither one of us drive a fancy, stupidly expensive car. Because when you actually understand the math, you realize how insane some of these payments are. Let's talk about what normal looks like right now. The average new car payment in America is about $723 a month. And for used cars, it's still over $500 a month. And we've really all just gotten numb to that. But here's what most people don't do. They don't run the long-term math. Let's look at an example. Let's take an average of a $723 a month car payment. Multiply it out over a year. That's $8,676 a year. Now imagine you took that same money and invested it instead, just into a basic index fund growing at about 7% over 5 years. That's over 52 grand. Meanwhile, your $45,000 car is worth maybe $22,000 by then if you're lucky. And congratulations, you literally just burned half of the money and the other half drove completely off a cliff in value. And the craziest part, most people don't even blink at it. Now, someone's already typing in the comments, yeah, but Tyler, I need a reliable car. I agree. Reliability is super important. Look, no one wants to be stranded on the side of the road when it's negative 20 degrees. Or like today, it's literally snowing horizontally. But here's the thing, that price jump from an $18,000 car to a $45,000 car, that jump is not about reliability. You're paying for a name badge, a bigger screen, some cool ambient lighting, maybe a remote start that you can do from your phone, a nicer steering wheel, maybe some heat in it, which I will say, it's well worth it to get a heated steering wheel if you live where we live in Minnesota. But at the end of the day, you're not paying for more reliability. All modern cars get you from point A to point B the same way. It's just transportation, but we treat it like a luxury good. And that choice and that mindset is what traps people financially. Let me break down the real cost of owning a nicer car because the monthly payment is only the beginning. Let's do a quick comparison. Scenario A is a $45,000 SUV. Cool ride. The payment is around $750 a month. Insurance is probably more than $150 a month. Let's figure it depreciates roughly $300 to $400 a month, and it costs you about $50 to $100 a month in maintenance. The realistic total comes to $1,200 a month. Now let's take a look at scenario B, a cool $15,000 used sedan. Your payment, if you even finance it, is $250 to $300 a month. Insurance on it's probably super cheap. It depreciates way slower because it's far past the biggest depreciating years, which is year 1 to 5 of ownership, and about 50,000 miles. It costs you about the same, maybe a little bit more in maintenance because it's an older car, it needs a little bit more maintenance. So if we add all that up, our realistic total is $450 a month. That's a difference of $700 or more in a single month. And if you take that over an entire year, that's $8,400. And that money is just poof, just gone. And here's where it gets wild. $700 a month is a second mortgage in some markets. It can literally be the difference between qualifying for a $250,000 home or a $330,000 home. And look, as a real estate agent, I see this all the time. People with too big car payments get instantly crushed by their debt to income ratio. It doesn't matter how much they make, the numbers just don't work. Here's the part no one really understands. Every $100 of your monthly debt you have can reduce your mortgage approval by about $15,000 to $18,000. So if someone has a $700 car payment, that alone can cut $100,000 plus from their buying power for a depreciating asset that loses value every single day. That is what's stopping people from building true long-term wealth. And I've seen this firsthand, not just as an agent, but from also being in the car business and growing up in that world. Customers would come into the dealership completely upside down in their current loan. They would roll the negative equity they have into a new loan, stretch it out as far as they can across 72 or even 84 months, and they would leave the dealership feeling like they won. But They didn't. They just signed up for another 6 to 7 years of financial stress. The next trap is lifestyle inflation. Someone gets a raise or a promotion and suddenly they deserve a nicer car. And look, I've been guilty of it too. But here's the reality. You don't get ahead financially by upgrading your lifestyle every time you make a little more money. And cars are the number one place where people flex income they don't actually have. And hey, I'm not saying this to judge anyone. I've been tempted by it too. Trust me, spending $60,000 on a truck sounds a lot more exciting than putting an extra $500 towards investment. And a new car feels good, smells good, your friends notice it, and it gives you a little boost of dopamine. But that feeling fades really fast. Once the excitement is gone, you're just left holding the bill. And here's the honest truth. A new car is exciting for maybe 90 days. And after that, it's just your car. Meanwhile, the payment stays high, your insurance stays high, your stress stays high, but the joy, it's just not there. People don't get wealthy because of their car choices, unless you invest in like the really, really high-end cars that sometimes go up in value, but also sometimes can go down in value. But that's not normal people. Plenty of people stay broke because of them. Now, I'm not saying everyone should go buy a 20-year-old Honda with 3 hubcaps missing. Although I will say, if you were going to buy an old car, a Honda or a Toyota are probably the ones to buy. But that's not important. So here's a better approach. Buy something that's 3 to 5 years old. You've already gotten past the largest amount of depreciation in a car. Don't finance any of the luxury brands because they are, number one, more expensive to buy used and they cost a lot more to maintain. Avoid going in and saying, what's the monthly payment? And shop based on total cost, not on monthly cost. Now put that extra money towards things that actually make you wealthier, like buying a home, paying down debt, investing, saving for emergencies. At the end of the day, a car is a tool, not a personality trait. It's not an investment, and it's not worth sacrificing financial freedom over. Whew, okay, I know I sounded like I'm totally anti-car, and I am not. I actually really like cars. But that's exactly why I'm careful about what I drive, because I've seen the numbers, and I've watched people completely bury themselves in car debt that follows them for years. So if you feel like you're stuck, or you can't save that extra money, and you feel like you can't get ahead, your car payment might be the easiest place to make a massive change. Sometimes the fastest way to move your financial life forward is simply driving something a little less expensive. Look, if you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for more real estate, money, and market content just like this. Comment down below, what's your car payment right now? I'm genuinely curious to see how crazy these numbers have gotten.